Hey guys, Big Anthony here. It's Friday, September 3rd, 2021. Haven't done a video in a while, but I wanted to get this one out there this morning. If you can, put some time aside today, say a prayer, lift my wife up in prayer. Today she's getting some eye surgery to relieve pressure on, she needs both eyes done, but she's getting one eye done at a time to relieve some pressure from the remnants of the 7 weeks of radiation she received last year up in Washington, D.C. For her brain tumor. So keep her lifted up in prayer. I take her over to outpatient surgery this morning, and hopefully everything will go well with that. Couple things. If you haven't already, watch Monkey Works, Monkey, W-E-R-X, his YouTube channel. Many of you that follow me probably know about his channel. He's got a very good channel that if you watch his situation reports, he calls them sit reps. That's the proper military term for it. And he basically tracks a lot of the aircraft that are going around the country doing various things. He'll pull up, President Biden's schedule for the day. His code name is Flashbang, and he'll, show what they have on the docket for him. He's also will show you flights coming in and out of, the Middle East, Afghanistan area, flights coming out of Central, South America, Mexico, bringing in, he calls them from the South America, Mexico area. They're called bananas. The ones coming in from Afghanistan and those other regions are called poppies. And they're being placed in various military bases around the country and then being processed, vetted, and then sent out probably by bus or train or plane or whatever to various cities, sanctuary type cities around the country, and being placed by these, non-governmental organizations. They call themselves, many of them cloaked as church groups. So keep your eyes looking for his channel, and very interesting, very knowledgeable. And what he does is he has a very well set up system where he shows you what's going on. Another thing you might want to invest in, now that you've seen that prepping is of primary importance, which I've been preaching since 2008, since I've been on YouTube. This is a RFID blocking bag. They come in different sizes. You can get it as small as your size of your phone. You could put your phone on airplane mode, put it in here, seal this up, and it'll block any signals getting in or out from your cell phone and electronic devices. So good to have, probably going to be hard to get coming down the pike, but good investment. I don't have to tell you why, but just read between the lines. Another good investment that you might want to think about, I know I talk about it a lot on my channel, is water. Different ways to filter, purify water, to get water, collect water, store water, etc. This is just another layer in my system that I picked up. It's the gravity system by Sawyer. This will do 100,000 gallons on one filter. You basically got a gallon bag here. You fill with your dirty water or your collected water. You hook the filter up here. You hang the bag up a little higher. You let this filter drip down into a jar, a bucket, a cup, a bottle, an Nalgene bottle, whatever. And then that water is now drinkable. So you might want to look at something like this. I don't know what it was, probably 30, 40 bucks. Price doesn't matter to me right now when it comes to water filtration. I'll spend whatever I have to do to get the ability to purify water and to keep my water clean in the event of some type of SHTF. Those of you that have seen the recent storms of Ida coming through in the New Orleans, Alabama, Mississippi area, just the havoc that is still going on in those areas. And then also just the other night up in New Jersey, New York City area, and the suburban and the surrounding counties in the suburbs, I knew firsthand because I have family there. And when I was watching the remnants of that storm come up, I was watching the Weather Channel, and the Rick Knabb was saying, "I've never seen anything like this before in my life." He kept saying it over and over. And I know Rick Knabb when he was at the Hurricane Center in South Florida. He lived in my community in Weston, Florida, actually in the exact community where I lived. And he was a frequent guest at our Rotary meetings, and I had the opportunity to hear him speak and to also talk to him one-on-one. So when he said that on the Weather Channel, I texted my group up in New York, my relatives and people that I know up there. I said, "Hey, looks like there's a big storm coming your way, a lot of rain," and a couple of my people that are on my group kind of, I don't know if they didn't answer. I think one of them answered and kind of blew it off. "Yeah, a lot of rain, blah, blah, blah." Well, here it is. I think 30 something people killed already, people washed away. One of the biggest disasters up there since Hurricane Sandy. The debris and the pictures that I saw are devastating. In the community where I grew up, I saw some pictures and flooding in the town of Harrison, New York, and the surrounding areas, Purchase, and all those areas there were just devastated with flooding and damage from the water. So things can happen very quickly. The weather seems to be going haywire around the country, around the world, in fact. So it's more important now more than ever to make sure you have things in place, an escape plan, an alternate location, things on hand to sustain you in the event of power outages, electric failures. Just look at the tower that fell down in that New Orleans town. I believe it was in Jefferson Parish. A 300 or 400-foot tower blown over. The cables or the power lines went across the Mississippi River to another tower. Those cables are now underwater. That area is cut off from power supply. No firm date has been established whether they're going to get their power back or when it's going to happen. I haven't seen any reports on looting or anything like that. And then again, I haven't been really looking for that, but I'm sure there's things going on in those areas when the power is out. A lot of good in people comes out, but also you see a lot of evil in people come out. On this topic here, I had my wife draw me a little picture here because I can't draw to save my life. Regarding this, in my area of operation, I'm seeing, you guys know that I work and operate in a large school district where I'm in charge of certain operations, and so I am in charge of or oversee close to 200 employees that are performing services in various schools. And many of the employees that have had that are out right now with either the sickness or symptoms or getting tested. And so there's policies in place. When you are tested, you have to stay out a certain amount of days. If you're positive, you have to stay out a certain amount of days. And it's devastated the workforce that I control to the point where I'm out for the last 2 weeks now since school started. I've been out day and night doing tasks that normally other employees would be doing and I'd be overseeing and managing. I've been having to do it just to help keep our heads above water in what's going on. So there's a lot of these being reported right here, and I think that's for a reason. There's a lot of hospital beds in need. I have a neighbor that works for Hillrom, and Hillrom is a company that I think makes and services beds, like hospital beds. And so he's actually on the ground, doing the repairs and moving beds around and setting things up. And I kind of talk to him a lot and ask him what's going on. And his company is searching for beds from anywhere, private vendors, eBay, whatever. He says they're looking for beds. There's a shortage of beds. And so So whatever's happening, a lot of it is, there is reality and truth to what's happening. Some of it's orchestrated or fabricated. I'm not going to say fabricated, but pushed to go along a certain line of thinking to get people to instill fear, I think, and to get more people to take this. And so the last thing I have here is medical coding. When I first started my work career, actually I was out of college. I worked at a hospital in Westchester County, New York, in Mount Kisco, called Northern Westchester Hospital Center at the time. I don't know if it's still called that. This is going back to 85, 86. And I worked in the medical records department. And one of the things I was learning in that department, I was doing some computer work there. And one of the things I kind of fell into there was medical coding. And what I would do is they would give me patient files that, for whatever, people that checked into the hospital then checked out, and I'd get their fresh file. You open it up and there's a whole computer generated page with all the information, and I'd have to code the sickness or the ailment or the diagnosis and put a medical code in it, and then enter that code into the system under that patient's name, where it got updated and the medical coding was done. So things are being, and I think and to end this video here, things have been coded in our medical system over the last year and a half since this came to be. I believe in a certain way, I think we've all seen that, to push a narrative to get to an end point or to get people to do something. And so I think that's still going on. It might be for the opposite. They might be doing the opposite now than they did in the beginning, but it's still going on. It's still being perpetrated. And so, be aware of what's going on. Be aware of the system that's being built, not only here in the United States, but in the world. It's a system that's very much anti-God, anti-belief in God. It's very man-centered. It's very worldly centered. And these same people that run it are the same ones that are pushing an agenda for the last 40 years of genocide of the unborn, and then continue to push that today to even greater levels with greater atrocities, are the same individuals and leaders and medical professionals that are telling you you need to have that to save you. I'll end it here. In many of my videos in the past, for those of you that have followed me, I spoke about a coming age or a coming time when there may be adult abortions happening. At that time, I didn't really even know what I was referring to, but now I think it's clear that the vision or the foresight that I had in saying that was what exactly is taking place now over the last year and a half. So I'll end that here. Stay ready. Stay ready. Stay prayed up. And pray that you and your family will escape the wrath that's coming. Big Anthony signing off.